What? It's hot. Anyway, time for the monthly challenge. Anyway, we'll put that down for a minute. So yes, it is time for the monthly challenge. That was, what month are we in? June. So that means it was May's monthly challenge, which was action. The theme? Subject? No. Yeah. I still can't remember. Oh, this is going to be a running thing. Anyway. Yeah, it was action. And this time we're doing it a little bit differently. No iPad, no sausage fingers. We're going to do this back on the computer, on the laptop, back in Lightroom, proper Lightroom, and Photoshop if needs be. We're going to do it all back there. It's so much easier. But anyway, without further ado, let's get over to it. So here we are back at the laptop. Well, on the desktop anyway, and we're back in normal Lightroom, as we should be, because the iPad was getting a little bit tricky, let's be honest. And I couldn't show as much because I can't get Photoshop up and you name it, couldn't do it. Anyway, it was all good fun. Right, let's go through these. Action, you lot have nailed it. In no particular order, let's go through these, and yeah, let's see who our first, second and third are. First one is by Sonja Lee. Remember, we're not in any particular order here. Sonja, you have nailed the brief. Action, it most definitely is. Love the action shot. Great capture. You were shot at ISO 100, 70mm, f5, and 800th of a second. Yeah, really good, really good. Okay, if I zoom in, yes, we haven't captured complete focus on the dog, which is fine. It's not a problem. It's not a big deal. I do it as well, don't worry. But if you're looking at this at a distance, or like we are now on the screen, it looks great. Can't whinge with it at all. Well done. The only thing I would like to have seen, so let's go over to our develop tab. Let's get rid of that. The crop is good. I would have liked to have seen maybe a 16:9 crop. Little bit. I'd like to pull the dog because the dog is running that way. I'm trying to look that way. Let's just go with that. Because the dog is running that way, I'd like to have pulled the dog over a bit more. So what I mean by that is maybe something like this. I know I like the bottom part with the reflection, so let's go with that. Let's just zoom out a little bit there. Okay, so I like that. So ideally, when the dog is moving or looking in a certain direction, you ideally want the camera to pan more that way. So say for instance, I was back here and I was looking that way. What you see on screen now is perfect because I'm looking that way, or I could even point that way, and you know which way I'm, it makes sense. Because if I was to look that way, and yet I'm in this corner of the screen, it doesn't look great. It looks like you've cut off, or you've just not put the subject in the right location. Other than that, fantastic. I'd like to see a bit more separation of the dog to the beach. So what do I mean by that? So let's get a mask. Let's select subject on the mask. Okie doke. So we've done a select subject. So I'm going to pull that dog up a little bit. Shadows up. We'll bring the highlights down just a touch. I am going to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of, not too much clarity because the wetness, it might make it look a bit funny. A tiny bit of dehaze. So we've already pulled the dog out from the background and the foreground. Maybe this foreground, let's add a new mask. Let's go with the linear mask. We're going to pull a linear mask just over there. Now what do I want to do with this? I am going to bring the highlights just up. It doesn't really move much, but up as far as they go, because they don't really go that far. Shadows we can bring down a little bit just to pull out the reflection. We could even go with even as much as removing some texture, removing just a tiny touch of that clarity. Dehaze, wrong way. We're going to go bring down, which means it will make it a little bit lighter. So we are, wrong thing, down just a touch. We go right back to the top. Exposure, we're going to just bring down ever so slightly, ever so slightly. Now the colour of it, yes, it is a touch on the sort of reddish side. So we can just counteract that, add a little bit of hue, and go to about there. And then we might even add a new mask, and what we're going to do is select the background. But what this time we're going to do, we're going to do a subtract, and we're going to do a linear subtract. I'm just going to subtract that of what we've already added at the bottom here. And we've already subtracted the subject as well. I'm doing this very quickly for you all, so we get through them all. I'd add a little bit of highlight, just to bring it back up, just so it's not flat. And then all I'd do is go down to our effects, texture will bring down, clarity, I'm actually going to go up just a touch, just to bring a bit more of that contrast through. And then dehaze, my mouse is awful. Dehaze are going to bring down, and then back to exposure, I'm just going to bring it down just a touch. So if we have a look now, so if we are happy with that, let's have a quick look at our before and afters. Top, bottom, that might make it easier. So the before is here, if we can zoom out a little bit on there. So up here is our original, quite flat, we can't really pick out the dog. And this is one I did very quickly at the bottom here. The dog we can pick out a hell of a lot more easier on that. So other than that, fantastic shot. You could play around, add a little bit more now with the dog. You could even add a bit of an overlay, a new overlay layer in Photoshop, where you can then paint in those highlights and shadows just to make that dog pop that little bit more. Other than that, fantastic, well done. Yeah, let's go on to our next one. So our next one was sent in by Harry Smith. Harry, love it. Beautiful shot. I wouldn't really say I'd do much more to it. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm just going to say duck, but I know people say mallard or something else for a duck. Duck. We'll go with duck. They're all the same. Anyway, lovely shot, really nice. Very well exposed. The background separation is fantastic here. Even though you did shoot at 6.3, 400mm, so I'm guessing you had a big old wildlife lens on there, which obviously that helps with the background separation there. I love it, absolutely love this. Again, maybe, the only thing I would tweak is maybe again, pull the, let's get rid of this, we don't need that, we just need that, there we go. Maybe all I would do is maybe pull that duck out a bit more from that background, just around the edges here. So maybe all we need to do is, I don't know, maybe add some contrast to the duck. Let's have a look, let's have a play. Let's add a little bit of contrast. Highlights we'll keep there, just bring them down just a touch. Shadows we can bring up. This has been very twitchy, apologies on that. And then a touch of dehaze, just a touch. Texture, just bring it up just a tiny bit, not too much. Okay, let's have a look at that then. That's beautiful. I really do like what you've done there, Harry. Is it action? Yes. The duck's moving. The duck's also got some food in its mouth, which I wish I had. Let's have a look at the before and after. There you go. You see, just around the head, tiny bit. That's the before on the left-hand side. On the right, we've just brought that duck out a little bit more, adding a tiny bit more contrast to it, making it pop, as they say. Other than that, I like it. Well done. I'd be super, super proud of that. Yeah, nothing more I would do to it other than, like I said, just add a tiny bit more contrast to the subject, just to bring them apart from the background. But yeah, really, really well done there. Maybe, I don't know, did you get any, I'd like to see if you got any other shots of this, not of this specific one, but any other action type shots of the ducks, mallard, whatever, I don't know, the ducks, the birds, ducks, we'll say ducks. But anyway, other than that, well done. Be proud of your work there. Fantastic. Let's go to our next one. Our next one is by Chantal Sammons. Left me speechless. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well done. Seriously, 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 well done. I would be super, super proud of that. There's not much more I would do to that. The only thing oh, wrong way. Oh, just come on. Sort it out. 100%. The only thing I would say is I'm at 100%. Now that I've got 100%, I don't know whether it's the file itself, it could be, the way you've sent it, it could be. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tiny bit of texture's gone a bit too much, or the bit too much sharpness going on here around the paw area on this leg here. What did you shoot it at? Let's have a look. 400, f11, 200. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see why you'd need to go and add maybe some sharpness. I don't know. Maybe that's just it might just be me. I might be wrong. I do apologise. But absolutely love this. Maybe I would have let the I would have got the cat's eyes to pop a little bit. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can do this in Lightroom rather than, I'm just gonna, hopefully it will allow me to brush in that bottom bit of the eye. Just bring that exposure up a tiny bit. Highlights. And bring the clarity up just a touch, too much. And dehaze up just a tiny bit. And then what I'm going to do is add another brush in. I'm just going to brush that black in. I just like to make that a little bit darker. Just to make that eye pop a little bit. There we go. It's always the little things that generally work. So if we just remove those, not that you can see much, but if we remove that and we go to the before and after, you can see that the eye is popping a bit more in this one. But honestly, yeah, super, super shot. I would be extremely, extremely proud of that one. Well done. Let's go to our next one. Our next one is Andrew Cavanagh. Cav, nailed it. Nailed the brief. Action. Yep. Love this. Really, really good shot. One or two things I would, I'm already spotting. So I would possibly run it through I'm trying to think. You're at ISO 1600. I mean, it is getting some grain in there, and probably over sharpened a little bit. I know what it's like trying to save those perfect shots, but at 100%, great. You know, when it's fit like this, fantastic. You wouldn't even know. Post it to Instagram, even a couple of prints at the size, you wouldn't even know any difference. So I like it. The only thing I'm noticing is probably a bit of this yellowing going on the dog's right-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go throw it quickly into Photoshop, and I'll just show you how we can paint those the greens and yellows out of the right-hand side of that dog. So now we've got our image opened up in Photoshop. I will just duplicate the layer very quickly, and don't mind the new AI. This is Photoshop beta, whatever you want to call it. So let's zoom in I just want to pull out these, get rid of these yellows here quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go hue and saturation. We're going to go to, we can use our picker on the side here. And if it's working, so we're going to pick, there's more greens than yellows. Yeah, we'll do 2. So we'll start with the greens. We'll oversaturate, and you can see there's a lot of green in the dog. So we're actually going to bring that down. And don't worry about the background losing its greens, that's absolutely fine. We'll just bring that down to about there. We're actually going to invert the mask, and this is a really simple, easy way to do this. Don't worry about it, there are other ways. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to paint in 100% opacity in white, because we're painting it in. And we're just going to go over the dog very quickly. I'm only doing this so we can just show you extremely quickly. We could do a select subject all over this dog. It would be a lot easier, but I'm just showing you very quickly. So we're just going to paint that dog in very quickly there. And we're going to do another hue and saturation layer. And this time we're going to choose the yellows. And again, we're going to invert, oh no, sorry. And again, we're going to pull down the saturation of those yellows, not too much because we want a tiny bit in the dog, obviously. Obviously it's reflecting what's happening around it. And we are going to invert our mask yet again. And we could even just drop that same mask that we used before on top. Replace mask, yes. And there we go. So if we go back to our original, ever so slight change, but it's just brought those yellows and greens down. And if we zoom back out, there we go. Other than that, Cav, well done. Really great shot. I'd have maybe pulled the eyes out a little bit on this dog. I can show you very quickly how we do that. So we're going to go for a new curves adjustment layer. We're going to pull it right to the top, say the top line at the top. You can see on screen as I'm doing it. And we're going to invert the mask. And now we are going to get the brush 100%, and we're going to go just over the eyes. 1, 2, 3, there we go, even though it's 2. We're going to back to black, we're going to hardness, we're going to go to about 6%, and we're going to brush around the eye. Just like so, just like so. Very quickly I'm showing you how we do this. And again on this dog, again on this eye, we're going to brush all along here. Just like that. No, gone too far, let's just undo that. Brush under the eye. Again, I am doing this extremely quickly. Then we're going to keep with the black. We're going to go softer, and we're going to go the size of the dog's pupil about there and about there. Then we're going to go back to the white, really small brush. I'm just going to dot in those reflections just there. And there's a little bit here. And then we're going to change our blend mode over to overlay, and there we go. So if we just toggle that on and off, you can see we've brought the eyes out really quickly there, just to make that image pop just that little bit more. Other than that, fantastic, well done, really like the shot. Just try not to over sharpen too much, but yeah, well done. Let's go to our next image. Our next shot is by Grace Lou. Grace, superb action shot. Really like this. Yeah, not much I'm going to really say about this, I don't think. Love the colours, love everything about it. Maybe I would have taken a few of the little distractions out, let's say. Just a couple. So let's pop this into Photoshop. Rather than using the generator tool, what we'll use is content aware. I think the AI still needs a bit of work. And we'll just use content aware to fill that in. There we go. So there's that bit filled in, and I just want to fill this in here. Nice quick selection. Use the content aware. There we go. And one more. Just there. Boom. See those little bits just removed? Makes it a lot more eye appealing and a lot easier to focus on the subject itself. The only thing, other criticism other than that, let's just toggle quickly between the two so you can see. Wrong one, there we go. Just removing those little bits, you saw how quick it was, just makes it that bit more eye pleasing, focusing straight on the dog. The only other thing I would say is, Next time you've got a dog in that sort of position or running, ideally you want both back legs on the floor and then up, one after the other, the front legs. That's ideally what you want, or all four in the air if you can. Obviously the dog at this point is coming down, you want them coming up. Other than that, superb shot. Love the colouring as well. Really nice and summery, or spring, let's say. This was May, so spring/summer. Other than that, great shot. Really nicely well focused as well. If we have a look, focused well on the eye there. Let's just go back to Lightroom quickly. Let's have a look. 200mm ISO 640 f2.8 as well. Brilliant. 2,500th of a second. Well done. Well done. Really like it. Yeah. Let's go on to our next one. Our next shot is by Scralett Brophy. Scralett, love it. Absolutely love this shot. Great action shot. Very well placed in the image as well. I like it. I really do like it. The only thing I'd say again is very similar to the other couple that we've done at the start, is I just bring out the subject a bit more from that background, rather than being all flat. Just let the subject pop. So we'll just do a quick mask selection on there. We're gonna add a little bit of contrast. We'll pull down those highlights just a touch, shadows down just a touch. We'll go down to our effects tab, bring the texture up just a slightly. Clarity, we are going to actually bring down to -4, dehaze just up a little bit, and that's it. That's all we need, just to bring that dog out from that background. If you look at the before and after, still a great shot, very well edited, just to bring that out, just a touch. That's all we've done. Very well focused on the eyes right there. Lovely shot, and you shot it 50mm, brilliant. I'm guessing a little nifty 50 maybe. Yeah, 1.8, I'm saying nifty 50. ISO 104,000th of a second. That's what you get on a bright sunny day. You're able to bring your ISO down and lift up your shutter speed as well, which is perfect. Other than that, honestly, well done. I think it's a great shot. Lovely action shot. I like it. Well done. You lot are all nailing this, I tell you. You're nailing the brief. Action's pretty fun, isn't it? So let's go to our next one. Yes, this is another top. This is another day. I had an issue with the batteries and the screen. Just everything was going wrong that could have gone wrong at the next image. So I gave up, and we're trying again now. So here goes. Let's go to our next one, shall we? This was submitted by Jeffery. Super shot. Love this. Now, Corey, just a quick one. You did upload 3 submissions. It is only 1, and that is a reminder to everyone. It's not a problem at all. So I have chosen my favourite out of the 3 submissions, so I hope you don't mind. Corey, really super shot. Really nice compression on this. f2.8, I love it. Couple of things I might note, well, I have noticed. First one anyway is really nice and sharp on the animal's eye, or the dog's eyes. Really nice and sharp. Colours are fantastic. You've knocked out mostly all the blues, which is good. You haven't gone too blue in the dog, because black dogs, unfortunately, in even bright sunshine and things that are, well, in bright sunshine, they do tend to go blue. Just so you can remember that one. You've done really well here, though. Very well done. Now, a few things I just want to point out quickly. If I just put this into develop mode and I'll zoom out just a touch. So let's go, wrong one. Let's go to 12%. Now, what I can see is the standard haloing around the dog, which would be, if I put just a quick radial mask round, just to show you so I can draw it, there is this sort of halo going around the dog just there. Now, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't worry. Try using something that is a bit more like select the subject. Lightroom is ever so good at selecting subject now. if not sometimes actually a little bit better than Photoshop does. But that's by the by. It depends on how well it can detect the subject. But there you can see it has selected the subject. So just remember that one. Don't try and get a halo around the dog. It is nice. I do like it. If you are trying to get, if that is more of a gradient than anything behind it, where you're trying to punch out a bit more of that radial gradient behind, maybe make it a bit wider, a little bit wider, so it feathers out a bit more and creates still that same effect behind the dog, but super shot. Another thing, if I just go back to fit, I don't know what, you think you may have cloned out a little bit, possibly around here, just down the bottom here, and also a little bit on this left hand side over here as well. Just watch out for your cloning. Maybe just get a nice straight line, because focus point, especially at f2.8, is quite narrow, and I don't think it would be jagged like that. But other than that, Corey, well done. Super shot. Love it. Eyes are popping nicely. The colours in the dummy as well are fantastic. And again, like I said before, the blues in the dog. Personally, I would have maybe just dropped them slightly, ever so slightly, just do a subject select in Photoshop and just bring down the blue hue, the blue saturation, just a touch in the dog. Other than that, super shot. Well done. Keep up the good work. Let's go to our next one. So our next one was sent in by Anna Placzek. I get that one. I probably get it wrong. I'm not sure. I hope I don't. But anyway, brief action. Absolutely. Yes, super shot. My only problem here, I mean, is that, I'm guessing there's still, when was this shot? There's still snow on the ground. I think that's snow anyway. Other than there's that or just dandruff. But, so there's still snow, that's fine. I would have just pulled your exposure down a touch on this image. Let's just bring it into develop mode. Let's just bring the exposure down, highlights down a little bit, and we can bring actually the shadows up a touch, just like that. And we could even add a touch of dehaze just to bring it back there. So if we just go to the before and after view, let's go to the side by side. There we go. Super shot. Really like it. Really well shot. 640th of a second. Super. Just so, actually, here's a little tip for you. The usual rule of thumb with action, if you've got a small lens, long lens, prime, telephoto, whatever it is, the normal rule of thumb is the minimum you could ever go to try and capture still images without movement is double your focal length. Now, what I mean by that is, say if I was at a 70-200 on, I was shooting at 70, the minimum I'd ever go is 140th of a second. Now, I'm not going to capture still images with that. The usual, really, you want to go 800 and above. But you can get away with, nowadays, with image stabilization built into cameras and lenses, you can get away with that. So, super shot. Love this. Really well done. Yeah, the only thing I would have said is, yes, just pull down the exposure slightly, the highlights, because you're bringing back the colours a little bit more, so you can see there in the before and after, it's a lot more vibrant in the afters. And all I did was bring the exposure down just a touch, highlights down, shadows back up a little bit. Other than that, great, super shot, keep up the good work. The cropping on the image is fantastic as well. Yeah, I love the expression's great as well. Ball in the mouth, ears up, love it. Well done. Keep up the good work, Anna. You're doing it super job. Let's go to our next submission. So this was submitted by Carolina Culpa. Carolina, love it. Do you know what? I love this, and this is obviously definitely on a dog shoot or on a shooting day, let's say. Really well shot. I can't unfortunately see your metadata in your photo, so I can't see what your shutter speed was, your camera settings, and all that sort of thing. Basically, it would be nice to see. Love this shot, really nice. The only one thing I would say, and now I'm aware that this is an actual shooting day with birds and guns and everything. Yes, it'd have been nice maybe to have one more shooter or a gun in the background. other than just this one, because at the minute, for people that don't know what shoots are like, there's usually a whole row. Someone looking at this maybe think that someone, it could have been a fisherman in the background for all he knows, or for all they know, sorry. But yeah, so maybe I would have just cropped this out a bit. Let's just get away from. So maybe, yes, I would have just grabbed the crop. Let's stick with your original crop. Oh. I would have maybe gone to about there. I was going to forget about your centering of the of your logo there. I'd have gone with a bit of that, and then we could have easily just removed that human there. Oh, we'll go this way. We'll go with that just for now. It's not the best, but we'll go with that. I would have gone with something like that personally, just to bring it away from that one singular person. Or you could have just gone into Photoshop, selected them, and use a content aware to remove that ever so easily. That is a little bit easier on the eye. Again, it's for people that don't really understand dog shoots and things like that. So other than that, really super shot, nice and sharp, very sharp in fact. Let's go to 100%. Yeah, nice and sharp on the eyes there. Really nice, well done. I would have liked to have seen your metadata there, your camera settings and your focal length and your lens settings. That would have been nice to see next time, just so I can get a feel for the image. Really well done, very nice and sharp. Yeah, love it, well done, carry on the good work. Our final submission is by Lena Lewis, who actually won last month's challenge of leading lines. So well done, Lena, on that one. Lena, super shot. How high did my voice just go then? I am sorry. Super shot though. Really love this. Action, most definitely action. This was super. Very nice and sharp. Again, can't see your metadata, your camera settings, your lens information. I would like to see that next time, please. Just gives me a feel for the image and a feel for what was going on. But other than that, do you know what? Super shot. Were these leaves real? They look real. And yeah, I really like this. The only thing I would say, maybe, just maybe, either remove this leaf here or clone some of these over this side as well, or around here, you know, around the tail area, around here, just so it all joins up into one, rather than having that one leaf just there on its own. Other than that, super image. I love this. Sky coming in, the colours are fantastic, even the texture on the floor, everything about it. I can tell you, this may have took a few times, I bet. Or sometimes usually you can get it in one and you're like, yeah, done. Really nice, sharp on the eyes. Yeah, there's not a lot that I'm going to say about this image. You're doing a stunning job. So it is time for my first, second and third place winners. And, well, it's a difficult one. I have chosen my winners, and well, first place is most definitely for me, fortunately or unfortunately, depending. Anyway, first place is definitely going to Chantal Sammons. Well done, Chantal. What an image. What an image. I love it. Kitten with a feather in a studio. Yeah, I love it. It definitely, most definitely is action. Well done. Keep up the great work. I'd love to see more from this shoot. Please do share with me. Yeah, great work. Second place for me is going to be going to Lena Lewis. Well done, Lena. That is for your dog jumping in the air with the leaves. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. Well done, you. Can't wait to see what next month brings for you. Next month? Next month. Anyway, yeah. And third place is going to go to Corey. Well done, Corey. Third place. I love it. So sharp on that image. Sharp on the dog's eyes. The only thing I'd say is watch out for the haloing and watch out for the cloning as well, or the the fixing of the floor. Just watch out for that. Other than that, super image, really nice and sharp. So yes, well done all 3 of you, amazing, and well done all of you who submitted to the action theme. That is it, isn't it? It's theme. I got it now. I'm gonna have it tattooed somewhere, I swear. Yeah, probably on my forehead. Anyway, well done everyone. That was a hard decision for me. You obviously didn't see how long it took me because I cut that bit out, but I had to go through each individual one again and again and again to get my 3. But well done everyone. Please keep up the great work and keep submitting. You're doing an amazing job, and keep posting in the photography or the photographer group, the Petography Masters group. I love seeing everyone's work. Yes, I'm not there constantly. We've got a few changes happening soon to the Petography Masters group, which is for the better. There's going to be a lot more fun things coming as well. A lot more challenging things, let's say. I can't say much more than that. But yes, it is going to start to wake up a lot more. I've also asked if anyone in the group, and there's a lot of you who have actually answered, would love to have a photographers get together, let's say, over a week or over a day or a week on a weekend, let's say. We're still to choose where and when, but I think it'll be really fun. We'll have some models there, and yeah, we'll all just get together, have coffees, have some lunch, you know, we'll all enjoy ourselves. We can all talk about our experiences, tips, and this, that, and the other. I think it would be great fun. But anyway, guys, before I forget, I need to tell you what next month's image challenge is. I think you kind of all know anyway, because I kind of posted this out after I'd all told you. But anyway, Lena Lewis, our winner from last month, May, Lena had chosen composition and rule of thirds. Now this is going to be an interesting one, and it is going to be fun. I am going to be putting rule of third overlays onto your images, just so I can see where you are composing the images, and this is where you can become really dynamic with the shot, making sure you are cropping correctly, and hopefully you've all nailed it. I'm pretty sure you have. We've already got a load of submissions, so this is going to be good fun to go through. I really look forward to it. But anyway, guys, until next time, take it easy.